Alright, how's it going, guys? If you're new to the channel, my name's Kevin. This is my Mercedes SL500. It's a 1995. In the last video, I got it running right. It had an ignition system problem. Alright, so this is in addition to the video. In editing the last video, I realized that the camera wasn't focused a lot of the time, unfortunately, which kind of stinks, but someone asked me on a forum, how did I know that that wire was bad? Is that focused enough? That's how I knew it was bad. Okay, and then when I went down here and I cut open the harness that I have rewrapped, it was bad in here. And if you watch the whole video, I pointed out multiple times, but if you don't watch the whole video, this is in the very beginning of the video. And I only wrapped it up to here because I don't know why. So this wire is sticking out, but as you can see, it has good sheathing on it all the way up, and it's not the same color as the old one, because the old one was this one, and it's gonna focus now. And see how it's kind of bad right there? This wire is bad, okay? So I have it still in its system because I'm not going to untangle it from the whole system. Now this is much more tidied up. This is sticking out right now. It just goes in the side right there. And then when this is down, and then the actual, you can't really tell. You know, you can, but it's just gonna be how it's gonna be. You know, someone else could maybe tidy it up a little more, but I'm not bothered, and keep it simple. I kept the old wire in there just so someone might know in the future that that was a problem, and I'm not trying to hide anything. I put electrical tape on it because I don't want it to touch anything. And then so when I explained in the last video that all I did was take it out of the harness and repin it, I didn't crimp anything, didn't add anything. I just plugged it into the old plug like it's a plug. I plugged it into the old pin like it is a plug. So there's no more pin in the plug for that one. See how there's no pin right there at the end? It's because I took the whole pin out. The pin is now in here. Somehow, someone had done this in the future. I didn't cut this right here. This had been a problem before somehow. And I guess some smart person took it off and was like, that's not needed, but it was needed. So like when this is all tidied back up how it's supposed to be, I'm gonna tighten down everything. You can't tell. There you go, let's get back to the normal. So today is going to be the first start, or not the first start, but it's gonna be the first drive, even though it's not the first drive like I explained in the last video. Just gonna do it quick. So the car is cold. The car is cold, hasn't been running. We need gas. I'm gonna go get gas real quick. All the lights go off except for, yeah, all the lights go off except for the oil level light. Well, that'll come on in a second because when it hits right there, it'll turn on. But this right here is the oil level light, but you can see that it has strong oil pressure. So that's the oil level sensor. I'm either gonna take the bulb out or buy a new oil level sensor. But if I can't get the oil level sensor out, because sometimes you need to drop the subframe, unfortunately I might just take the bulb out or just leave it like that, because this is over 25 years old and inspection doesn't care about that light. All right, so let's hit the road. All right, so yeah, popping some gas in the thing, maybe fill it up a little under half a tank. Don't like keeping too much gas in my tank because I don't do too much driving, only city driving. So, you know, like bigger tank, less gas you want to have in it, less weight you're carrying around. You don't want to carry weight in your car. Always be efficient, guys. All right, tank's actually on that side of the car. I pulled over on that side of the car. You know, maybe one day I'll learn. All right, so I just put some gas in the car. Didn't put too much in it. Please don't call me the J word. What? All right, yeah, it's a green light. It has a little bit of heat in it. Let's get on a little bit. Whoa. Yeah, like that's so friggin' fast. I don't know. It didn't even shift gears when we hit 60. Like, what car does does that, tell me. But yeah, a whole bunch of wind noise. Let's try and put some windows up and see what it sounds like for you guys. Okay, so yeah, there is wind noise from the soft top, but you know, have you ever been in a convertible soft top that didn't make some kind of wind noise a little bit? So I'm gonna pick back up after this light, because like this isn't stop and go traffic simulator. The car would be totally perfect if that one oil level light wasn't on, but this dude behind me just tailgating the balls out of me. That's another thing about this car. People assume it's like my dad's car or something, and it's like, you know, my dad doesn't really drive much, so. This thing just has so much pickup, it's kind of cool. But look at it, look at it. He thinks he's fast or something. Go around, drive like this. People drive like absolute morons in my city. It's kind of ridiculous. Like when I first started to learn how to drive, the city was actually much smaller. Like if I learned how to drive at 16 and now let's say I'm like a lot older than that, like there's been an immense amount of people moving to this city. It's one of the fastest growing cities in America, if not the world. And yeah, so people will like just do the meanest stuff, drive and cut you off. It's best just not to engage with anyone when they're being crazy, but yeah, I'm not sure how long this video is going to go. I want to get to a spot where I can really get on it. So I'm going to go out here a little bit to kind of the country, and we're going to see how's it going. Unfortunately, this isn't the first drive of the car, but still, like every time I drive this car, it just like, I don't know, puts a smile on my face. The whole idea that I can drive a car that's this nice and like was once like a $90,000. This car was like $90,000 or more in 1995. So in today's money, it's just, you know, it's kind of ridiculous how expensive this car would be in today's money. They literally, people will say it a million times, but they do not make cars like this anymore. And it's unfortunate. It's actually not unfortunate. These old cars are going up in value, so it's actually really fortunate that I bought this car and fixed it up. The insurance is actually really cheap because I got it as a second car, not as my first car, and so I have the insurance as a secondary vehicle, not as my primary car. And like I said, I only drive it on sunny days. I wouldn't even be driving it today if I wasn't making a video because it's overcast, and I only drive this car on sunny days. I'm still unsure why this dude in the GMC wants to tailgate me so much, but you know, maybe he or she just doesn't have a lot of brain cells anymore or something. But it's okay, you know, I forgive them. There is actually another lane, and they could go around instead of being a moron popsicle, but well, yeah, we're gonna go up here to the left. Now, unfortunately, these tires are like mega dry rotted, so they, it's not like the best handling car. I mean, you can throw it into turns, but like I'm not trying to race the car around or anything. The other day I was racing around a little bit, and it had some pretty good oversteer, which was kind of crazy. But it has to do with the tires being so old. These tires are actually from 2006, so that probably shows who cared about the car last. Like it was the person who put the tires on it last. And around in, so in 2006, this car got new tires on these AMG rims. So they probably got the AMG rims around then also. I don't believe this car came with AMG rims, and if it did, wow, the person paid a lot of money when it was new. But again, they are staggered, so they do fit the car very well. But Yeah, so the tires are from 06, the new wiring harness is from 2011. So in that time period, there was someone who really cared about this car. And I mean, yeah, the last owner didn't really care about the car. He left it in his backyard. When I bought it, he was like, I bought this car when me and my wife got married and had our first kid. I was like, that's great, man, that's awesome. He's like, I never drove it. I was like, oh, that sucks, man. But so, oh man, look, it's my freaking house. Hopefully there's no nails in the ground right here, but oh man, and this dude's mowing. All right, without messing anything up, I want to get the car in here to get a picture of it, and I can't really see. Hold on one sec, guys. All right, so I know this isn't part of the test drive of the car, and there's mowing in the background and stuff. This wall didn't used to be here. You used to be able to drive up right here. And I did an old video originally when I first started doing YouTube during COVID. And I did a video exploring this house, and man, it's gotten really overgrown since then. I'm kind of surprised no one's maintaining it anymore, because it's kind of like a really nice house. And yeah, someone's busted out the windows now and tagged it a bit. This house is really old. I want to say it's well over 100 years old. And I wanted to get a cool video or cool picture in front right here, but I don't think there's any way that I can get the car back here. I mean, I could possibly, like you see this path right here, but do I want to risk it? Probably. Hold on, let me just give a quick checkup on this place. Used to be that this door would open. Hello? Wow, I actually heard something moving around in there. Sounds like there's an animal or someone in there. But yeah, it's a really old house, kind of cool. Actually really cool. All right, so here we go again. Car is, let me close this. As you can see, car is warm. Or maybe you can't because this iPhone doesn't focus anymore. It used to be record really good, and then I dropped it at work valeting one day and it didn't work so well anymore. But so, yeah, car's hot. These cars sometimes don't, when they have certain ignition system problems, they don't start. As you can see, that light actually does work. The SRS button does work. And ASR off button works. I kind of want to see if the tires spin a bit at the same time. I do not. So again, these tires are really old. Yeah. Oof. Okay, car's already warm. Let's just give it a boot. Yeah, this car's just like kind of way too fast. I hope this car doesn't pull out in front of me. I don't think they will. And I don't know if anyone knows, but nice Corvette over there. I don't know if you guys could see it. And it's kind of interesting. You go right out of the city, like right over the highway to where it's just south of the city, and it gets country like this real quick. But the problem is that this land looks really country, but it's actually really expensive because everyone and their brother who's a contractor or a builder wants this land to build something on it. They just want to build everything and anything on it. Like, that's what I'm talking about, brand new. And they're still building, even though supposedly this economy is like downturned or whatever they want to say. More houses being built. Like, you can just drive any direction going out of the city, and there's gonna be houses being built. Let's go left here. It's kind of hot. I'm gonna put the windows down a little bit. It's actually not too hot, 68 degrees today. Car has 92, almost 93,000 miles. I've put 308 miles on it since owning it. That includes like, I didn't fix the car until it got up to like 150 miles because I kept test driving it like over and over, trying to figure out like, did that fix it? Did this fix it? Something or another. Wow, I don't know why I did that, but okay. Sorry for the wind noise. I'm gonna slow down. Or put the windows back up. I'll just sweat for you guys, you know. The AC does work. The stereo, it works. I don't know if you can see the antenna gone up. And antenna gonna go back down. That's so cool. I love power antenna. Alright, in other news, my family has this, my mom bought brand new in the 80s when she lived in Miami. She bought brand new for her like first car. Not as her first car. It wasn't her first car. It was her first car new that she bought herself, like brand new car, if you get what I'm saying. And these people just tailgate the shit out of me. I don't know if they think that this car's fast, so I should be going 100 or something, but this is kind of ridiculous. But so yeah, so in the 80s, my mom bought brand new BMW, like I don't want to say the wrong chassis code, like E32 or something. Ooh. One-handed's kind of crazy. I'm gonna pull in my favorite neighborhood. Oh, look out. But so, when we started again, my mom bought a brand new 4-door manual gold BMW E32 or whatever, like the classic 6-cylinder, inline 6, best BMW. The family, that car never has left my family. It's never left my family. It was sold to like another relative, and the relatives held on to it for a while, and then those relatives sold it to their kids or their grandkids. And but then it went back to those relatives that had it. But so recently those relatives have died, you know, rest in peace. But at that point I wanted to get the car, and unfortunately it was given off to another relative for like $1. They just keep trading it off. And you know, it's cool that the car has never left the family. You know, it probably has like 200, 300,000 miles on it or more. I really wanted that car back. You know, maybe someday I'll get it back. But this is... I don't know if you can hear that like kind of whirling noise. Like that. It goes away on power. I'll be honest, sometimes on power you can hear like a, I don't know, like a carrier bearing something or another when you, like it clunks a tad, but it doesn't clunk forever. If you know what I mean, it only clunks for a second. And yeah. Let's get on it one more time, and then we're gonna call it. All right, so I'm gonna come to like a dead stop right here, and I'm just gonna punt it. So this is actually a closed course. These are all, I like edited the video. Oh no, edited. Okay, so this isn't real. These are all holograms. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that was really harsh on the car. I don't like doing that. I did it for the video. Yeah, you can see the car actually got heat in it really fast. Now I'm gonna cruise for a second. But yeah, this is gonna conclude the first drive of the car. So before I had bought it, the car had sat for 5+ years, maybe 7 years. It's been a year since I bought the car, so the car has sat for minimum 6 or 7 years, but probably sat for almost a decade. And you know, it drives like a car. Oh, that was my old neighbor, I think. LOL. Okay, so yeah, it's dropped back down to operating temperature. These old cars that have fan clutches, they are kind of temperamental, but at the same time not. I don't know if you guys know, but if you just hit the AC on when the car gets a little warm, it turns on the primary fans, which are the low speed fans. And then if the car gets mega hot, it will automatically turn on the secondary high speed fans. But yeah, kind of counterintuitive, because usually when you think like car is hot, I'm gonna turn the heat on, but no, in this car, if you're doing under, I want to say like 45 miles an hour or something, it will turn, you can turn on the AC. You can just like flip it to AC and or press the AC button, and it will turn on the AC, and since the car is hot, it will try and bring down the pressure or something on the condenser or something or another. So we'll turn on the fans to cool the car. But so if you're on the highway and you have the AC on, supposedly the fans don't turn on because the car knows the speed that you're going and the amount of air pushing through the car. It just knows that it has the right amount of air, and so it can cool the fins or whatever on the condenser on the air conditioner without turning on the fans. But yeah, so car isn't hot. I hope you found it interesting. If you watch some of my earlier videos, you can see that the car ran very bad. It would struggle to accelerate. Now it's just an animal. Almost totally different car. Like I said on the first, if you go back to my first or second video on this car, I take it on a quick drive through my neighborhood and I joke around. I'm like, oh, it's running on 4 cylinders or something, and like it was running on 4 cylinders. So, you know, how did I fix it? That one wire, just rewiring putting a new wire from the fuse box to the coil, fix the car. And well, it didn't fix it at first. I put a new wire from the fuse box to the coil, and then when I took the wire off, that wire went from coil 1 to coil 2. For some reason, it's just a jumper wire and it jumps from coil 1 to coil 2. So I had that off, and then brain blast, you know, I hooked that on, and then the car just took right off. Kind of friggin' awesome. Mega happy about it. Let's do some friggin' turns. Everyone get out of my friggin' way. Well, I didn't say already, I'm very thankful I bought this car. I was really scared that I wasn't gonna be able to fix it and that I wouldn't, you know, I would just have to let it go. You know, I could probably sell it for what I bought it for, it not working right. I've seen plenty of these cars for sale not running right for $3,000. So, you know, you guys better like understand what's going on in the economy with these older cars, older Corvettes, older, you know, Mustangs, things that people didn't used to think were like wanted cars. Like, people want these things. Times are changing. People don't want these new things. People don't want the new SL that will break in 5 years. This car is almost 30 years old. Like, yeah, the front bumper clip is kind of dinked and stuff, but if you just like redid the front bumper and maybe redid the back bumper as well, it would be a very nice car. And also, you could refinish the rims, and it would be such a nice looking car. Like, the rims on this car, even in bad condition, are fairly expensive, but in good condition are fairly ya. Thank you for watching. See you.